Good afternoon, boys and girls. We're going to begin a brand new unit now in our social studies book. So we're going to kind of go backwards in our book. You should be on page 66 now, ready to follow along. All right, in this unit, actually, let's turn back to 65 really quick. In this unit, we're going to learn about continents and the different land areas on our Earth. We're going to learn about landforms, which are sort of like similar to habitats. We're going to be looking about how the land is shaped and features of the different land. We're going to be learning about climate in different areas, and lastly about natural resources. Okay, so this week we're just going to be talking about where you live in the world. Okay, ready to begin? Today we're going to focus on two vocabulary words, country and state. So those are the two I really want you to focus on when we read those two words in our lesson. Let's get your finger on, ready to follow. This is titled Your Address. Build on what you know. What do you call the community where you live? Do you know the rest of your address? So what is the name of your city? And do you know the rest of your address? Okay, if you don't know the rest of your city or the rest of your address, now's a great time to start to learn it. You should know where you live and what street you live on, your city, your state, your zip code, all of that. So we're going to start practicing that this week. Okay, states in a country. Carlos is going to mail a letter to his cousin Len. Len lives on Green Street in the city of Columbus. Look at the envelope to see the rest of the address. What is Ohio? What does USA mean? So let's look at his address here. Here is where Len lives, 27 Green Street. Says Columbus, Ohio. So what does Columbus mean? What is that? What does Ohio mean? Okay, Columbus is his city and Ohio is his state. And we should know that from our DOL when we write our addresses on DOL. Now, if you're mailing a letter to someone in a different country, you have to put the country as your fourth line of the address. So he's from Canada, if you can see here. He is from Canada, and he's mailing it to somebody who lives in the United States. So if you mail a letter to someone who lives in a different country, you need to include the country on your envelope so the post office knows which country to send it to. Okay, I'm going to move my camera now over to the next page. This is a map of the United States. Do you know which state we live in? Okay, we live right here in California. The United States has 50 states. 48 are connected here on land. And then we have 2 states that are not connected to us. Alaska is actually connected to Canada. And Hawaii is an island down south that is not connected to us either. So 48 connected in the land and 2 that are not connected for a total of 50 states. Now here on the map, it is showing us where Columbus, Ohio is. Is that close to us or far from us? That's pretty far. It's, I'm guessing, going to be about a 6-hour plane ride to get to Ohio, Columbus. And Toronto, you see, is up here. It is not in one of the colored states. Toronto is not in the United States. Toronto belongs to Canada. It is really close to us. Toronto is closer to Ohio than California is, but he is in a different country. Okay, let's go ahead and keep reading. The letters USA on the envelope stand for the country called the United States of America. That is our country. We say USA, but that's just an abbreviation. The full name of our country is the United States of America. A country is a land where people have the same laws and leaders. Ohio is a state in the United States. So everyone in our country follows our leaders, our president, our Congress, and our laws that the president and Congress and the Supreme Court have decided are going to be our laws. So everybody in our country follows those. If you do not follow those laws, then you must live in a different country. You must live in somewhere like Australia or France or Mexico. If you live in those other countries, you have a different leader and you will have different laws that you follow. Everybody who lives here in the United States has to follow our laws. Now, a state is a part of a country. The United States is a country made up of 50 states. So even though we are all different states, we all are the same country because we all follow the United States President, the United States Congress, the United States Supreme Court. Okay, even though we do have some different state laws, we're still part of the same country because we're part of the same national government. All right, and lastly, our question here, which state do you live in? Good. Tomorrow, we are going to be working on, actually this week, on your address. I want you to practice learning your address every single day. You should know your address by now, being in 2nd grade. The other thing I want you to do, this will be tomorrow's work, is to write a letter to somebody in your family. Okay? You put your address on the top of the envelope right here on the left side, just like he did. You put a stamp on the top of the right side, and then down here in the middle is where you put the address of whoever you're mailing your letter to. So that will be your assignment for tomorrow, to write a letter to somebody. More directions will be in your sheet for tomorrow. All right.